A quick note before I begin, this video is about the House of Yahweh based out of Abilene, Texas, not the other ones that exist throughout the world. Now with that said, welcome to the basic facts of the House of Yahweh cult.
Or the world had read and followed what Yahweh put out back in June of 2007 called The Real Cause of Global Warming, they could have repented and we could have started restoring the firmament instead of putting more destruction into it.
William Hawkins was the founder and leader of the House of Yahweh in Abilene, Texas. Hawkins was born in Lexington, Oklahoma on August 28, 1934. He grew up on a farm and stated that his parents were very religious. His life up until his late teens was pretty normal compared to other young men at that time, but in 1951, Hawkins stated that he began to have prophetic dreams. One of these dreams allegedly revealed to Hawkins that he and his older brother Jacob were the two witnesses from the book of Revelation. The two witnesses in the book of Revelation were warned of Judgment Day, martyred, then resurrected, then taken to heaven in a cloud of light. Not even a year later, Hawkins became affiliated with the World Church of God, later known as Grace Communion International, and one rule among the members of this church is that no one may serve in the military, causing Hawkins to not serve in the Korean War. Hawkins becomes a police officer. In 1957, Hawkins enrolled at Midwest Bible College in Stanberry, Missouri. It seems between this time and 1980 that Hawkins went on a journey to find himself. Not only did he become a police officer, he also tried to become a rockabilly singer. But in 1981, Hawkins was fired from the police department after he was found to have alcohol in his squad car. Hawkins opens the House of Yahweh. Hawkins' brother Jacob returned from a 7-year trip to Israel, stating that he had found proof of Yahweh's name. The brothers set up the first Yahweh house in Texas in the town of Odessa. This arrangement between the brothers didn't last very long. Former members state that Hawkins left because he didn't like that Jacob was in charge. Hawkins even reportedly stated that Jacob was acting like the Pope. Hawkins would eventually end up in Abilene, Texas, where he ran and owned a trailer park. The trailer spaces and trailers were used as recruitment strategies where Hawkins would preach to the residents that the end of the world was coming. In 1982, Hawkins legally changed his name to Yisrael, and just less than a year later, he had enough followers to establish a House of Yahweh in Abilene. All other religions are the enemy. Among the rules inside the House of Yahweh is that female members must wear headscarves, while male members have to wear a kippah. Members are not allowed to observe Christmas or Easter because of their pagan origins. Unlike most cults, members do have paying jobs outside the church, but the House of Yahweh requires that members give 30% of their paychecks as donation to the church. In 1993, Hawkins suddenly began to encourage male members to practice polygamy. Oddly enough, this happened right after Hawkins' wife Kay came out that she had caught him having an affair with one of the church secretaries. As a result, Kay and 2 of her children, which she had with Hawkins, were kicked out of the group. Hawkins also villainizes all other religions, especially the Catholic Church. According to the group's beliefs, the devil was female, thus Hawkins preaches that because the Catholic Church worships the Virgin Mary, that they are worshiping a demon and are teaching Satanism. Hawkins predicts the end of the world. In the 1980s, Hawkins stated he was a prophet of God and that he knew the world was coming to an end soon, but it wasn't until the mid-1990s that he actually began to give dates. His first prediction was like many other doomsday cults at the time, that the world was going to end in the year 2000. So in 1996, after this prediction, hundreds of members bought passports for Israel in hopes of surviving the apocalypse. But when 2000 came and went, Hawkins told his followers that Yahweh had prevented it and that the world would begin nuclear war on September 12, 2006, killing a third of all humans by 2007. And when September 2006 came and went, Hawkins again stated that Yahweh had prevented the nuclear war. But this time, members began to leave the group believing that Hawkins was a false prophet. After this, Hawkins no longer gave predicted dates for the end of the world, but instead would say it could happen at any time. Hawkins is accused of child labor. In the mid-2000s, Child Protective Services was brought in to investigate over 20 cases of child neglect within the group. In November of 2007, an elder of the church who took on the name Yedidiah Hawkins was arrested for molesting a 14-year-old girl. He received 30 years in prison. Not soon after, William Hawkins was arrested for child labor and promoting bigamy, which is illegal in Texas. In 2009, 10 days before trial, Hawkins struck a deal and pleaded no contest as long as the bigamy charges were dropped, which held a 10-year prison sentence and a $10,000 fine. Instead, Hawkins was placed on probation for 4 counts of child labor and an $8,000 fine. Today, the cult is still very much active, and former members continue to come forward stating that female members are being both physically and sexually abused, and that the leaders just ignore it. But in October of this year, word got out that Hawkins had died. There hasn't been a confirmation yet because no burial rites have been carried out. But there's a habit among doomsday cults to hang on to their leaders' bodies when they have died in hopes of a resurrection. Either way, you now know the basic facts of the House of Yahweh cult. Thank you for watching.